have made more excuses. Some of us have made more excuses than we have days in this year. We're on day 9. Some of us have already made 10 excuses. Because if you want to be successful, you got to stop making excuses. Amen. Here's the next thing. Just let me put in my mind. Excuses are often used to mask our insecurities. Excuses are often used to mask our own insecurities. So rather than say, I'm uncomfortable, or I'm not sure, I'm uncertain of myself, or I don't know if I can do this, we'll make an excuse. Because excuses become a good hiding place for me to become complacent. I was reading, as I was studying last night, I was reading something that says, most times our excuses, this is for those that are in relationships. So before you walk out, can I help you? Before you go to the other side of the yard where the grass looks greener at, let me help you out. Most of the flaws you're finding, or some of the flaws you're finding in your partner, are really just your insecurities. And you've turned your insecurities into their flaws. You keep highlighting what's wrong with them instead of realizing that's an insecurity that you have. They're really not talking to someone else. You just can't deal with the fact that they're not always around you because you're insecure about being abandoned. So when they're not there, the flaw becomes you're not here when I need you, when really it's that you're not used to being by your... Let's just give you an example, right? Insecurities in yourself become flaws in somebody else. Are you with me so far? So insecurities often mask our own excuses, right? Our excuses mask our insecurities. Here's the last one that I get into these 7. Excuses, here's something I said already. Many would rather make an excuse than make a change. Now, most of the things I teach from here is stuff that I've already dealt with myself. So I feel pretty good when I say it because I've already had to eat that bullet. So I know how you felt when I said it just now because I know how I felt when he said it to me. So it probably stung a little bit. Amen. It probably hurt back here in your goozle. It probably hurt you because it hurt me around here somewhere. When I heard it, I had a cramp on this side like it was gas or indigestion. I had to get myself together. He said many folks would rather make excuses than make a change. Amen. Most folks got more excuses than they have changes. Because when something forces you to change, you find every reason why you can't change. Our biggest reason is that's just how I am. Some of us need to stop being just how you are. You know how you tell somebody, how come you always have a nasty attitude in the morning? That's just how I am. So that's just why you by yourself. Because you realize people don't have to put up with you just because that's just how you are. Because when you approach someone about something you don't like, you don't want them to say to you, that's just how I am. See, most folks want people to accept in them what they will not accept in others. So you want me to accept that's just how you are, but you want to accept that's just how I am. In other words, you want me to change so you don't have to. Yeah, we just talking, right? We just talking. Here's the problem. You all catch this. Anybody, most of us in here, back when I was growing up, this was rare to come by, but we're in a more progressive culture now. Everybody in this room probably have had a $100 bill. Those watching on social media, you've had a $100 bill in your hand, haven't you? If not, go to the bank, get a $100 bill. Amen. Amen. One of the things that would tell me, Sis Pat, is that if you ever break a $100 bill, if you ever make change, that $100 bill is gone. Y'all, how many of y'all heard that weird? So when I was a kid, when I got a big bill, it was a 20 or 50 or whatever, I would hold on to it because grandma said, if you ever make change, if you ever break this $100 bill, let's go. And I found out something. As soon as I would use it, it would be gone. It was no more 100. It became 80, 70, and I look around and go, whatever happened to my $100 bill? And I remember because I broke it. Now, I'm going to help you out. Most folks treat yourselves and your attitudes like that $100 bill. Because you know if you ever change your attitude, you have to change and that attitude will be gone. And you like how you are. You like your excuses. So you can't break your excuses because as soon as you break them, you know they'll be gone. So you've been holding on to that $100 bill, wondering why you can't get what you need. Amen. Amen. Somewhere in my house, amen, somewhere in my house, I have a collection of $2 bills. Somewhere in my house, because I don't want nobody to know where they're at. Amen. And because I realized one day that's going to be valuable. It may not. Just let me live in my fantasy world, okay? All right. No, hang on. Stop hating on my $2 bills. Amen. But I have some, and I have them for my grandchildren. Because one day they're going to grow up and never realize there used to be something called a $2 bill. The reason why I've hidden them somewhere in my house, because I realized, Sister Sabrina, Sister Deborah, Sister Michelle, that if I ever take this to the store, it's gone. Somewhere in my house, I have a collection of Susan B. Anthony $1 coins. I realize if I ever use these, they're going to be. So I'm holding on to them because I think somewhere in my house, don't worry, you ain't going to find. You go where those are, the floor falls out and some spears come across. It ain't worth it. But see, that's how some of us are about our excuses. We're holding on to them because to us they've become valuable. But really they're of no value. The chances of your excuses getting you to where you are about just as good as that $2 bill being worth $1,000. But I hold on to it with the hopes that one day it'll be valuable. Now, that's with a piece of money, but you've been holding on to your excuses with the hopes that you'll get what you want. And guess what? If you look over time, your excuses have gotten you nothing. Am I helping somebody? So, seven excuses that we use. 7 excuses that we use that are highlighted in the Bible that will destroy your plans for 2022. And may have destroyed your plans for 2021 and 2020 and 2018 and 2010 and 2009. Here we go. Here's what it says here in Exodus chapter 4, verse 10. The first one is personal incompetence. Let's read Exodus chapter 4, verse 10. And it says this: Then Moses said to the Lord, "O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither before me nor since you have spoken to your servant, but I am slow of speech and slow of tongue." The first excuse we use is that we say that we don't have what we need. I'm not smart enough. I can't do this. I can't bend far enough. The reason some folks don't exercise, I can't walk that far. The reason some folks don't change their diet, I can't eat like that. The reason some folks don't have no money, I ain't got no money to save. There's always something related to something that's in me that keeps me from. Lord, you know that everybody in my family overweight. Lord, you know everybody in my family is going through depression. Lord, you know how I'm going to do this because it's you know how I am. So I point out my personal incompetence. Moses said, God says, I want you to stand and speak for these people. And the first thing Moses says, you know I don't speak well. I ain't got enough education. I'm slow. In other words, I stammer. I got a lisp. My words get tangled up when I get in front of important people. Here's the problem. Don't you think God realized what your incompetencies were before he called you to do it? What is it that you're telling God that he already doesn't know about you? But think about that for a second. When God said, Moses, I want you to lead my children out of captivity, and Moses said to him, I'm slow of speech. Did God go, what? Wait, you slow? You don't talk well. Well, thank you for telling me that, because I really never even paid attention. Moses does not talk well. Now see how hilarious that sounds now? That's just how it sounds when God says, I need you to do this. You say, Lord, you know personal incompetence. What's killed a lot of plans for those that are watching is that you keep looking at your deficiencies as if God didn't know that you were deficient. And matter of fact, God says, I am in your weaknesses, he makes you strong. Let the weak say, I am. So now not only are you rebelling against God, you're also now telling God that what he said ain't true. His strength is made perfect in weakness. No, it ain't. Let the weak say I'm strong. I'm weak. I ain't saying that. And you wonder why you can't accomplish. And then you find somebody to co-sign on how slow you talk. Yeah, you always had a lisp when you was a baby. Yeah. You right. So you found somebody else who has excuses to help justify and co-sign on your excuse. Now both of you sitting there with nothing. There is some truth to misery. So personal incompetence is the first one. Now, see, I'm with you today. So what I did, because I know how it is now, since I said I was going to use my Bible a lot, my paper Bible a lot, now I got to find scriptures too. So now let's turn to Judges. Did that one help you? Personal incompetence. Get rid of your personal incompetence excuses. He already knows where you are incompetent at. How am I going to be an accountant? You know I can't do math. He didn't tell you to do math. He told you to start the business. Hire somebody to do your math. I'm a manager, supervisor, manager, been in positions. I put folks around me that was good at stuff. That's what a smart person does. They know where they're weak at, where they're incompetent at, and they find somebody that's good at it, and they put them around them. See, he didn't say you do it all. He gave you the vision. You got to put people in places that say, oh, you good at math? I need somebody that's good at math. Oh, you good at this right here? Oh, let me put somebody around me that can do this right here. When you feel like you have to do it all yourself, then you don't have a vision. You're not a visionary. You're a dictator. Amen. Y'all got that, right? Because you want all the money yourself. You don't want to share it. You want the whole pie. Amen. But you can't even make a pie. So check this out. Number one, is this helping? Because we want to make sure that your plans come into manifestation. The reason why some of you may have saw the little flashback a few seconds ago, I was back there trying, you know why I couldn't get it going? Because the people that I have around me know how to do it. I don't. That's a good thing. So I can never get to the point where I can say I don't need you. I didn't get enough amens right there. See, if you're going to be a visionary and a leader, you have to realize, yeah, I do need some people around me to do this right here. Don't think more highly of yourself than what you ought to, because you'll find out that you ain't as high as you think you are. Amen. I was here yesterday, and someone was trying to work something. I said, I don't know how to do that, because the person that normally do that, they ain't here. So we both going to sit here and look at this keyboard. That's what we're going to do. I know how to turn it on. It ain't got no sound. Oh, okay, well. I went over there, hit it. Yep, you're right. It don't have no sound. Now, we both agree that it don't have no sound. Well, what do you do when it don't have a sound? I usually look back there and tell them I don't have no sound. That's what I do. They ain't back there. Amen. But God knows. So he's not caught off guard by that. Here's number two. Number two is a lack of social status. I'm going to help you out with this one. Let's look at Judges chapter 6, verse 15. Here's what it's saying right here. Amen. So he said to him, "O my Lord, how can I save Israel? Indeed, my clan, my family is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house." In other words, I don't have the same position as the people in this meeting. I'm not in the same social economic level. I know they invited me to this meeting, but all them folk in there, they live over there, and I live over here. All those folks over there, they went to this school, and I didn't even go to that. All those folks over there make this amount of money, and I only make this, right? I don't have the same social status. When did social status overrule, outweigh what God said for you to do? When was the last time you avoided something because you said, everybody in that room got more education than me? I'm not going to go in there and embarrass myself. When was the last time you got invited to something and you said, no, all them folk in there, they uppity. I ain't going to take myself in there. I ain't uppity like that. See, that sounded good to all your friends that they're in the same level to you. But see, for folk who think ahead, who said they was uppity? Did they come tell you that? Or was that your own thoughts? Because, see, I've lived a little while now. I've never had, that I can recall, anybody come up to me and say, I'm uppity. Now, I've thought about some people, and then some said, is that what they said, or is that what you said? When I was in sociology and psychology, they call that projection. Projection is when you put your feelings on somebody else. Which means when they walk in the room, here's what used to happen. People say, you think you smart, don't you? No, I won't think of nothing. You thought I was smart, apparently, because when I walked in here, I was thinking about where I'm going to eat at. That's what I was thinking. But since you know what I'm thinking now. Let me break it down. She thinks she cute. No, she won't be thinking she cute or thinking about you. He think he got all that. No, he won't think of nothing. He was thinking about where the bathroom was. You thought he was all that. So that's your reason now for not interacting, because now you've made him or her look negative, so you have a reason not to. Amen. Is that helping? When I was growing up in church, there was this little disdain for rich people because we were taught if you was rich, you couldn't be saved. Because it's hard for a rich person, okay, to get to the kingdom like a camel going through the eye of a needle. And for a rich man to enter in the kingdom, so we say, oh, then I need to be poor. Can I help you out? Yeah, y'all heard that, right? Right? We're not realizing that when they were talking about the eye of the needle, they were talking about the gate going into the marketplace, and the camel had to bend down. He couldn't walk through straight up. He had to bend down. And you thought, you sitting there looking at a sewing needle, going, yeah, a camel sure can't get through this sewing needle. I don't want to be rich, Lord. Good teaching, right? Let me get you on focus. The jobs of a bishop get you on focus, get you on target, right? And here's what it didn't tell you. The camel made it through the eye of the needle. He just had to get down on his knees. And the real context was you can't be boastful and get into the kingdom. You can't be prideful and get into the kingdom. That although you may have lots of riches, you still have to humble yourself. It was not a text for you not to be rich. It was a text for you to realize you have to be humble. But most of us in my generation and before grew up having a disdain for being rich because we couldn't be rich and go to heaven. There are going to be some rich folks up there. And some folk going to be mad because they're going to be rich with the idea that you had. And because you didn't work on it, somebody else did. Is this helping? This helping in social media because it's working out. Is this helping out there? YouTube, Facebook? Amen. Amen. There's no need for me to have you spin around 3 times to go get a car when your job can't afford it. I'd rather have you spin around and go put the application in that you keep saying that you're not qualified for. And watch God do. Can I help you social status? When was the last time you looked at a position and you said, I ain't qualified for that? But some keep telling you, look at the position, and you keep looking at it and going, I ain't qualified for that. But they keep telling you, look at this, and I ain't qualified. Why don't you just apply? I got a prophetic word the other day that won't have been biblical. I'm going to give you the prophetic word I got. It was about a position I was looking at. And the person said, they only going to say 1 or 2 things, yes or no. Yeah. So this is how I tell you. So, well, spiritually, I can use this. Spiritually, they cussed me out because I was like, you ain't had to say all that. They said, all they can say is yes or no. All I had to do was come back and say, yeah, you're right. So let me help you out for those watching. All they can say is yes or no. That's all that can happen. They can't kill you. And so number 1 is personal incompetence. Number 2 is a lack of social status. Stop selling yourself short. Stop selling yourself short. You may be who they're looking for. And put it this way, if it's still up on the board, they ain't found who they're looking for yet. Come on. That ought to bless somebody. If it's still up there, apparently they ain't found who you think they should have found yet. Amen. If it ain't you, then they say, well, I tried. Amen. Amen. Lord, why you ain't saved me? I sent a boat. I sent a helicopter. I put 15 jobs up there, and you didn't apply for none of them because you went to the education part first and said, I don't have that. Amen. Amen. Here's number 3, the difficulty of the task. This is a big one right here. Excuses. That's too hard. Get to Proverbs chapter 22, verse 13. Proverbs chapter 22, 13. Y'all ready? Okay, I know y'all got to find it. Calm down. That's good. Ashley, Bree, what your generation has that the generations before me don't have is that y'all will try anything. Y'all don't have a fear factor. You'll try it. Let me try to see if it works. If it don't work, I'll try something else. Amen. You all have no issue with leaving one job and going to another and then going to another to find what you like. You'll go without. Because if you don't like it, you ain't going to stay there that long. Where my generation suffers at, and those before me, the 70s and before,